Okay, so it's time for some tough love today, I think. I'm in the mood to dish out some tough love. Before we get started, I just want to say I'm only saying this stuff because I care about you, because I want you to grow on Instagram. I want you to have an engaged, valuable audience. But also, I've made some of these mistakes before, right? So I don't want this to feel like I'm just lecturing you and like being like, no, you're doing stuff wrong. Because I've done it before, right? This is a safe space. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the reasons why your account is not growing, the reasons why you're not reaching people, the reasons why you don't have an engaged audience, all of that stuff. I'm going to basically help you fix your Instagram account. So if that sounds of interest to you, then please carry on watching. Okay, so this is probably the most common reason, right? So that's why I'm going to start with this one, because in case people are like, oh, I can't have to watch this whole thing, at least you hear this from me, okay? So when people message me and they're like, I don't get it, why am I not growing? I should be growing by now, what's going on? When I look at their account, the biggest and most common thing that I notice is that they are not giving anyone a reason to follow them. So a lot of the time it might be a brand account, which is purely sharing photos of their products and being like, hey, you know, buy this, or this is the features of my products. Or it's like a creator account where it's like selfies of them and that's kind of it, right? So no hate. Again, I've made some of these mistakes before, okay? So the issue with setting up your account this way, and the reason why you are having trouble growing, is because people have absolutely no reason to follow you. So Instagram is changing. It's not the same as what it used to be back in the day, where if you found an account where you purely liked their aesthetic, that would be enough for them to grow 10,000 followers a day. Whilst your aesthetic is still important, I'll come on to that later, it is no longer enough just to have a good aesthetic, or just to share photos of your products, or just to share photos of yourself. Unfortunately, it's no longer enough. We demand more from people now. When I say we, I say like the Instagram users. We demand more, right? What's important to remember when you're reviewing your profile and thinking, am I giving people a reason to follow me? Is that as a species, we tend to be quite selfish people. So I want you to put your mind in your ideal audience or your ideal follower, right? They're browsing the app, and what a lot of the time they're subconsciously thinking when they land on a new profile is like, what am I going to get from this? And that might sound so harsh, and there's so many good, like there will be so many amazing people watching this, like, I don't think that. But a lot of people do think that. They go through, even if it's subconsciously, and they look at people's content and they're like, what can I get from this? Am I gonna get fashion inspiration? Am I gonna get amusing memes? Am I gonna get entertaining reels? Am I going to learn something? Are they gonna give me updated news on my industry? Are they going to give me tips and tricks on how I can grow my YouTube channel? Like, what am I getting from this account? And if that is not completely clear, either through your bio or through your content or whatever the features you're using to communicate what your value is, there's a big chance people will not follow you. People don't follow accounts purely because they just want to see people's selfies. I'm sure there's an exception to that rule. But in a nutshell, people want to gain something from you. So if you're not growing, I want the first thing for you to do is to look at your account and ask yourself, what value is someone getting from this page? And if you do not know, then I recommend you spend some time trying to figure it out. So the next reason why you might not be growing is because you're doing something which is against Instagram's guidelines, okay? So this might sound like a really obvious one, but I feel like there's some things that you might be doing that you might not even realize are against their guidelines. So there's the basic community guidelines, which I'll put a link to the article where you can read them all in my description, but they're really obvious things like, you know, don't spread hate speech and, you know, don't post nudes, you know, really obvious stuff. But then there's other things like using a third-party app which is not approved by Instagram. And a lot of people think that's any third-party app, which it isn't. There are third-party apps like Panelly or Later, which actually are completely approved by Instagram and you can use, and they won't harm your account in any way. Then there are other apps which aren't approved by Instagram, and these are usually apps which allow you to mass unfollow people or mass direct message people, anything like that, or like, you know, remove your followers at scale, anything what's making you do things like that, which Instagram has restrictions on, you can guess and assume that they are actually not approved by Instagram and you shouldn't be using them, right? Other things that might be restricting your growth are things like engagement pods or engagement groups or follow trains. These are all different words or methods for basically getting fake engagement and fake followers, but not in an artificial sense. So people think that they're not breaking a rule because they haven't purchased followers or they haven't purchased likes. Instead, they've joined an engagement group where in order for them to get X amounts of likes, they need to engage with X amount of people's content. So they have to like 10 photos and then they get 10 likes. Now, the issue with these is that even though it comes across as a really genuine way to increase your engagement, because it's not artificial, you haven't purchased anything, is that it's still actually not real, because you're only getting engagement in response for giving engagement out. But more than that, and the biggest issue, is that it messes with Instagram's algorithm and how they categorize your content. If you're engaging with a bunch of people who who you don't usually engage with, or you're getting a bunch of people from different niches, different backgrounds, different content categories, all engaging with your content, Instagram is going to find it really difficult to categorize you and who you are. It will be like, I don't get what your content's about. I don't get it. Like, who do I share your content to? I don't know, because so many different people are interacting with you that I honestly I can't categorize you, right? I can't figure you out. So that's another reason why those types of engagement pods and that type of stuff just doesn't really work. Follow trains and anything like that, yeah, you might not be buying followers, but you're gaining followers who aren't following you because they like your content. They're just following you because they feel obliged to. And what that means is that you end up with a bunch of inactive accounts who aren't engaging with your content, and they're basically just dead. They're not going to help you grow. They're just going to sit there and ruin your engagement rate. Another thing that you might be doing in regards to breaking the rules without realizing that you're breaking the rules is that you might be using a banned hashtag. Now, I've just actually released a video all about my updated hashtag strategy, because a bunch of changes have come to hashtags recently, so I recommend giving that a watch. But for the purpose of this video, what you've got to know is that there are some hashtags which Instagram will restrict the reach to. And they do this because they feel the content under the hashtags are in breach of their community guidelines. Now, you're probably thinking these are really obvious hashtags, like offensive hashtags, but they're not. Like, sometimes they're really simple hashtags that you never would have guessed would be banned, right? I'm pretty sure like hashtag love was banned at one point, or beauty blogger. I don't know if it still is, but hashtag beauty blogger was banned at one point, which I reckon tripped up a lot of accounts, because no one would have guessed that that would have been banned, right? So the way in which that you could tell if a hashtag is banned has changed, and I would guess that it's probably going to continue changing. Previously, you could search a hashtag and a notification would pop up which said this hashtag is being restricted by Instagram. So Instagram would literally tell you this hashtag is banned, right? Now it doesn't seem to tell you anymore. Instead, the only way you can tell that it's banned is that it doesn't have a follow button. So when you go on Instagram and you search a hashtag, a follow button usually comes up, which allows you to follow the hashtag, right? So the hashtag content appears on your home screen. But now, if a hashtag is banned, the follow button won't come up, because obviously Instagram don't want you to follow the hashtag because they're restricting the content, but they're just not being as straightforward or as upfront about it as they used to be. So that's a really key tip that I want to share with you. Go through your hashtags, double check which ones you're using, because if you are using banned hashtag, that is a big reason why you might not be growing. So another reason why you might not be growing and your account just might be kind of like on the decline is because you're not being social. So right, say it with me. Instagram is a social media platform. It's a social media network. It's whatever you want to call it. It literally has the clue in the title. It is a social platform. It is for being social. So if you've created an account and you just think, I'm fine, this is going to absolutely fly and grow because the content I'm sharing is so high quality that the followers are just going to come. Whilst for a few small people that might be enough, for the majority of us, we can't sit back and just wait for all of this to come to us. We need to be out there and giving engagement to others if we ever want to expect to receive some engagement back. So I want you today, if you can, if you've got some spare time, spend the next half an hour engaging with your followers. If you're looking for some inspiration as to what you should do during this engagement session or routine, I recommend checking out this video. I share with you my engagement routine, and you can just copy it. And I recommend you start doing that at least a few times a week, if not every day. So another reason why you might be struggling to grow is quite simply because you don't actually understand how Instagram works. There is so much value in understanding the algorithm which runs Instagram. When you get to the stage where you fully understand the algorithm, how it works, it massively impacts how you post, when you post, how you engage, who you engage with. It basically becomes your guiding light between how you manage and interact on the platform. Now, the good news is that I have created a masterclass which is called Decoding the Algorithm, where I disclose exactly how the algorithm works. How do I know? Because I spent weeks upon weeks researching it and putting all that information that I found into this masterclass so that it was presented to you in a way that was easy for you to understand. And of course, you know me, I'm going to give you my top tips for how you can leverage the algorithm as well. So if that sounds of interest to you, and if you're really serious about growing on Instagram, utilizing Instagram to grow your business, to become a content creator, whatever it might be, I really recommend that you grab your free ticket. The link is in the description. Okay, so the next reason why your account might not be growing is because you're not actually asking anyone to follow you. Which might sound weird. You might be like, I'm not going to ask people, they should just do it. But unfortunately, people don't. If you don't ask, you do not receive, okay? So what I'm referring to here is a thing that we call to actions, or in marketing language, it's a CTA, because that's the abbreviations, and us marketers love a good abbreviation. What a call to action is literally some copy asking someone to do something. And how that relates to this tip is that a lot of the time, people don't include a call to action in their captions. And some of the call to actions that I'll use, if I'm doing a reel, sometimes I'll use the call to action, follow me for more tips and tricks, because I know that a lot of people who view that reel will be people who don't necessarily follow me. I know that reels are great at reaching a new audience, and therefore I want to make sure that I've got my opportunity to say, hey, new audience, follow me, right? And for anyone out there who is experiencing, reels which are getting picked up loads, well done. That might be the real game-changing tip for you, that you're getting loads of reach, but you're not converting them. And maybe that's just because you're not asking for them to actually follow you. Call to actions don't always have to be follow me type call to actions. Sometimes they could be things like comment below, or they could be save this for later. Whatever it is, as long as you're encouraging some form of activity or some form of action, it's going to help you on your growth journey. Because even if you're just asking for engagement, the more engagement you get, the better it looks in Instagram's algorithm eyes, and the easier it's going to be for you to grow. So the next thing I have for you, or the next reason why you might be struggling to grow on Instagram, or you feel like your Instagram account needs fixing, is because you're not coming across as genuine. It's like a really awkward thing to say to someone. Thank God I'm just talking to a phone and not to actual people. The thing is about Instagram and just every social media platform, or just everything, like marketing, branding, all of it. People like to engage with accounts, engage with brands, and engage with content creators who are genuine and who come across as relatable. If your entire Instagram marketing strategy is purely based around what you can get from others rather than what you can provide, or what others can get from you, you'll find that actually your content is going to come across as not genuine at all, right? And what happens is that people can see completely through that. They will land on your account, they might even follow you, and then eventually they'll start to think, I feel like this brand account, all they want is to get money from me, all they want is for me to click on their affiliate link, like that's all they want from me. I am dispensable. I think that's right. They can get rid of me at any moment. They don't need me. They purely see me as like transactional. Like that's how they see our relationship, right? And no one wants to feel that way. No one wants to follow, engage, or support an account what makes them feel that way. What they want to do is to engage and follow an account where they feel like there's a bit of a two-way relationship there. That yeah, they're giving that account their time, their engagement, maybe even their money, but in return they're getting entertained, they're getting inspired, they're getting supported. Like they're just getting something from them. And that kind of leads back to my first point about what are you giving others? Like what reason do people have to follow you, right? So look at your page and ask yourself, okay, is all of my content just centered on me, and what I want from someone else? Is every photo a hashtag ad? Does every photo relate to an affiliate link? Is every single photo a photo of my product and with the call to action, shop now? Just ask yourself those questions. And if you're really stuck on this, then I do offer audits, which basically allow you to get a third party's opinion, that opinion being mine, and it will basically give you a full analysis of every element of your account. But if you don't want to go down that route, then just get your friend, get someone who you can trust, get a work colleague, get a stranger, ask them to follow you and provide their advice on your account, and specifically ask, does this come across as it's being run by someone who is genuine, and see what they say. Okay, that is it for today's video. I really hope you found that useful. If you did, then I recommend checking out this one. It is all about the main reasons why you might be losing followers. So such depressing topics. So today I'm talking about the reasons why your account might not be growing. And in that video, I'm talking about why you might be losing followers. So if you're serious about kind of fixing your account and getting off the ground and getting running, then I 100% recommend checking out that video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope I see you in my next video.